Welcome to the stream. I'm Tandy. Today's stream, we're going to be playing some mono green Band Fairy, aka Mono Green Devotion. This deck is the boogeyman of the format. This deck kind of presses its thumb down on everything else. Kind of keeps a lot of mid range and control decks in check, where Rakdos mid range then preys on the bottom feeders. The aggro decks of the format tend to be pretty decent against mono green Devotion. Just because of their nature. They're very low to the ground, explosive. Mono Green Devotion doesn't have removal. What it does have is blockers in the form of Old Growth Troll, Sylvan Carotid, Cavalier of Thorns, and a pretty fast clock. I think on turn 4 and 5, you can usually do some really explosive stuff, even if your Llanowar Elves dies. And because of that, it makes this deck basically just one of the most powerful to ever exist in any format. I don't really know how else to put it. I pretty regularly do degenerate stuff on turn 4, like actually kill my opponent on turn 4, which is unheard of in a ramp deck. And on turn 3, pretty often I create board states with Nykthos that most people can't really come back from. This build emphasizes a core where Karn the Great Creator, Kiora, kind of go infinite with Pestilent Cauldron. We have one copy of Teferi who slows the sunset, which can go infinite with the Chain Veil. The Chain Veil otherwise does allow you to go for the combo a little bit faster, but it's not nearly as important in this build as it is in the version that plays 2 or 3 Teferi who slows the sunset. We are a little geared towards beating Rakdos and aggro by playing a main deck Sky Sovereign and then a sideboard second Sky Sovereign. And we also have 3 Voracious Hydra to help out against the aggro decks. When we bring in the Voracious Hydra, we're going to be trimming a Storm in the Festival, the Teferi, and at least 1 Karn, and maybe 2 Karn, and maybe 1 Karn, 1 Kiora. You do need at least a couple Karns at the top of your deck to actually win the game once you have established board control. Cards like Storm in the Festival get a lot worse when you bring in Voracious Hydra, though. And the Planeswalkers in general are a little lackluster against aggro, which is one of the reasons why the aggro decks are good in the matchup. I don't know if I ever actually want to cut Kiora. Turn 2 Kiora off of Elf. It's like the best thing you can do in the format, which is kind of sick. The untap ability, obviously very powerful. Being able to reset Nykthos is great, but the card draw effect of Kiora for Old Growth Troll and Cavalier actually comes up so much more than I thought it would originally, a long time ago when we were first starting to build and play the deck. Kiora was not always in the deck. Used to be a Burning Tree Emissary build, As for the sideboard, we're mostly tutor targets for Karn. We do have a couple things we do want to bring in. The second Sky Sovereign can come in out of the sideboard, so we have 2 main and 1 board to go get with the Karn still. This is for when we just want that effect on turn 5, that interactive piece. Being able to kill an opposing planeswalker, small creature, and then threaten to kill creatures for every turn for the rest of the game is just extremely powerful. Karn can tick up on Sky Sovereign as well to make it so you don't actually have to pay with a creature to crew. You can just crew kind of with Karn. Other than that, just a bunch of Karn targets for situational stuff. An Esca's Chariot when you're behind on board. Tormod's Crypt against things like Greasefang. Meteor Golem to blow up a problematic permanent. Godfrey Statue is one you get pretty regularly. It slows down opponents who don't already have an established board position. A lot of games end with Karn at 10 mana because you go Karn Godfrey Statue. It's obviously not quite as powerful as something like Mycosynth Lattice, but sometimes it feels very similar. Reckoner Bankbuster is actually a way for you to get black mana once you've gone infinite with a combo with Pestilent Cauldron on the backside of Restorative Burst. You can use Kiora's untap ability multiple times with Chain Veil to basically untap the Bankbuster 3 times. That gives you a treasure, and then with the treasure, use it for black mana for Pestilent Cauldron. And then once you cast the Pestilent Cauldron, you can do it super fast on Magic Online by just using Kiora to untap Pestilent Cauldron. This is, of course, assuming that Chain Veil has been activated a bunch, but whatever. Let's see what else we got. 1 Damping Sphere. This is for Lotus Field and a couple other matchups. Pith and Needle, great for situational purposes for locking down opposing planeswalkers. And then 1 Darksteel Citadel, which we can find off Karn when we just desperately need to hit land drops. We do that when our opponent's like attacking our mana, killing our Llanowar Elves, things like that. How does the Cauldron combo? Long story short, the backside exiles itself, so Karn can grab it again. So you use Pestilent Cauldron Restorative Burst to bring back a Karn and a Cure from the graveyard. You play both of them, use Cure to untap Nykthos, and use Karn to find it again. So if you have one Karn in hand or graveyard and then one Cure in hand or graveyard, the Restorative Burst lets you essentially gain infinite life. And if you have enough devotion, you also gain infinite mana. You obviously need a ton of devotion. You need like 14 devotion or something. It's not the easiest in the world, but honestly, it's not nearly as hard as it should be, thanks to Storm the Festival and a ton of green pips from Cavalier, an old growth troll. Um, if you haven't seen the deck combo out before, I highly recommend checking out some of the old videos and stuff, or just watch them today. You'll see. Let's go ahead and get to a league, yeah? Oh, wow. My opponent is Karugaing. You know what my brain thinks of when you say anti-piracy? I think of Kazaa. I think of Napster. You know, I'm gonna go to Thailand and work for a company that lets me, you know, that's what I'm thinking of. But obviously, you're talking about literal pirates. That's crazy to me. You wouldn't download a car. I'm gonna untap an attack for one. This is a weirdo deck. I'm not really sure what to expect. I think one damage is worth one loyalty here. Yeah, it's way more Tom Hanks though. Yeah, it's way more. I'm the captain now. Leyline Binding Karuga. All right, all right. What do I go get, chats? I gotta go get a land. I gotta go get Darksteel Citadel first. Just in case they kill my elf with like Stomp or something. I want to save the Beseiju for the Leyline Binding, so the land's not actually that bad either. Fable, oh, the Mirror Breaker. We can do some stuff here, right? So we can channel Beseiju, kill that, play a thing, minus Karn again. I could also just... Let's see. We got a lot of options in the sideboard. I could just go get Sky Sovereign and blow up the Goblin Shaman. I don't hate that, because the next turn we can Cavalier and then attack. And if they're like more fair mid-range, I think they're in trouble. Chumiko says, I like your Fall Guy streams. Oh, thanks, dude. That's the thing about piracy, you know, like they come when you least expect it, right? It's like you have to defend for 99 out of the 100 days. Or you have to defend for 100 out of 100 days, and they only have to attack for 1 out of 100 days, you know? And if you don't, you're in trouble. I like, it's just so crazy to me. Like we just live in a different universe than that, you know? Hello there. What's up, Broadside? All right, let's go. Actually, I'm gonna do a thing. Let's go Haven. May have made a mistake. Wolfwillow Haven is occasionally the right play, and it's occasionally a disastrous play. And I think in this spot it was a little bit disastrous. All right. Found a Storm the Festival. We did not play super good this turn. Let's see. Let's just attack and see what they do. I don't really know what all they got going on over there. Colossal Sky Turtle. Okay, okay. Okay. So they basically just channeled to prevent 5 damage and bounce my thing. Pretty happy about that. That means they didn't have like a hard answer. They also didn't kill Karn, didn't kill Elf. I don't think they're comboing. I think it's just all fair kind of mid-rangey shit with the Karuga companion. It's almost like Cascade, right? They're just trying to play around their own effect. When I saw Karuga, my first instinct was just like, oh no. Either my opponent's deck is really good or I'm dead. Like, what if they have a reanimate all creatures or whatever, right? What if they're just like channel reanimate all my creatures? Can I beat a bunch of flying colossal sky turtles? Is there a card that reanimates every graveyard in this format somehow? I might actually still win though, because I can get some devotion. I can channel kill binding, get my cure back, do nick those tricks. We can Karn for bring back two things. We can storm the festival. Black mana is terrifying. Bring to light. Oh my god, are we gonna lose to bring to light plus some cool combo? Oh no, did my opponent break it? No, it's just Kenrith. Okay, okay, just Kenrith. Just kidding. Yo, Blind Attorney, thanks for the 16 months, friend. Welcome back. Says, good day, sir. The bands yesterday were interesting. I don't think they went far enough, but man, good start, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So we could just go get... What do we do here? We can go get Meteor Golem and then blow up Kenrith. I kind of like that. Kenrith's pretty scary. Kenrith's got a lot of abilities. But I could also go Cavalier Needle. And then we just do a bunch of Storm the Festival the next couple turns. I could also just go Storm the Festival and hope I hit again, right? We could just keep trying to go for stuff. It's like the danger of letting them untap though, right? Like it's such a scary proposition. Like we could go for Chain Veil and activate, but then we're short of being able to do anything else. We can't quite do that this turn. We could go get Pestilent Cauldron, Cavalier. We actually have just like a lot of potential options, but we didn't quite have a board position. Our opponent interacted with us a little too much. We could also just go Sky Sovereign, blow up Reflection. It's not too bad. And then plus to get an extra blocker. Kenrith does some dirty stuff, though. All right, let's just constrict their ability to interact and do things. I'm just going to Meteor Golem the Kenrith, I think. Now, they can go for like a Reflection activation this turn if they have a cool creature to play. So that could be something that's a little scary. We might lose our Kiora. They might end up with like a creature left over if it hasn't enters the battlefield or a death effect. Again, it's just hard to predict what our opponent is doing. Omnath's cool. They can't copy it though, and they need a Fabled Passage, and they already have two in the graveyard to do an extra mana bump. Fury's probably got to go. I agree with that. It was kind of disgusting when I was playing with it yesterday, and always disgusting when my opponents had it. Just does so much shit for no mana. It's crazy. It's like so much better than Pyrokinesis. Like Pyrokinesis was such a crazy card in Legacy for a long time as like a sideboard card against creature decks. And that was when like no one was playing that many creatures. Yeah, but I actually been considering playing a Bant Cascade deck without Violent Outburst. So I just don't think it'd be enough, man. I think you can just build the deck in a different way that doesn't need Violent Outburst. And I don't think that the instant speed is particularly groundbreaking. Like it's obviously good, lets you use your mana and spot your opponent wouldn't really be equipped to handle stuff. But Charlotte's Agent is a more egregious offender, in my opinion. All right, so then we got Karuga. Karuga! All right, this thing's free. I'm gonna gamble on hitting a land off of this. I haven't played a land either, so I can still draw a land. We missed. That sucks. Bummer. No, me too, Chalice. But Crashing Footfalls is the moderate value, right? Like, I don't know. Like it's not like any other Cascade card was ever good in a fair deck other than Shardless Agent, right? All right, here comes Karuga. Maybe Living In, yeah, but like none of those cards, none of those decks dominate tournaments. The thing is, I don't think that even all right, let's see. What can we cut here? Do I want to cut Sky Sovereign? Not really. It seems like it kills some stuff. Fable token. I don't think I need to sideboard anything. It's fine. All right, we're gonna keep, but I'm not in love with the hand because we don't have Elf. But they're likely to have a bounce or removal spell on too. With even though it like gets around Karuga, they can have Stomp or Brazen or Sky Turtle or whatever. Plus, we're gonna draw an Elf. Who knows? That's good. Do we just take Cav? I guess so. The Elf, we're just gonna Wolf Willow next turn, so let's just take Cav. That's fine. If we were gonna do anything else next turn besides Wolf Willow, I'd probably take the Elf. Yeah, I mean, I love playing Shardless Agent in fair decks, right? Like, if you banned Hypergenesis, I mean, Hypergenesis already banned, but if you ban like every one of those suspend cards, like, or they could just errata the rules to say that all cards with suspend, their mana value is equal to their suspend cost. But there are cards that have a mana value and a different suspend cost, so that's just not, it's not really doable, really. All right, I'm gonna play a Karn, and I think I'm gonna tick up. Maybe I should just go get Sky Sovereign though. Sky Sovereign's just so goated. I don't know. You can make an argument to get like 5 different cards off the Karn there. I have no idea what's correct in a vacuum, let alone what's correct with our opponent's hand. Every single decision we make changes what card is good or bad. If we show them Sky Sovereign, right, their play changes completely. What they discard off Fable changes completely. Bottlenecks them a little. Like, because we have the Cavalier, we could have gotten, Chariot to give us some blockers, something to play longer game like Dark Soul Citadel, Statue, Chain Veil. Maybe Chain Veil is actually right. Maybe Pithing Needle's right. It's literally like so hard to figure out like what's quote unquote correct, I wonder if we're gonna get Mystical Disputed. Is that a thing? They just gotta tap out, right? Just kill this treasure in case our Karn dies. Now the question is, do we Sky Sovereign the token down or do we play Cavalier? I think we Sky Sovereign because if it gets countered, I want, like, this is best of both worlds, right? If it gets countered, I'm okay with it. If it doesn't get countered, we check the Goblin token and that makes sure our Karn survives. And they clearly didn't have Stomp or our Karn would have got stomped last turn. Build your first Pioneer deck, Mono Blue Spirits. Nice, Moppy. Are you liking it? That deck's always been really cool, but just it's not one dimensional. It's just not a gameplay pattern I really like. I didn't love it when it was in standard either, the Curious Obsession stuff, but it's certainly sweet. So I hope you enjoy it, man. You gotta take the filter out and hose it off? Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so Reflection. I don't really know what's happening. I'm gonna do this. And if they bounce it, I'll just kill the Reflection probably and play Elf. But we're gonna plus an attack. Leyline Binding. Okay. Wonder if I should just storm the festival. I think it's just Cavalier plus Elf. Just hope they don't do something silly next turn with Reflection. But they haven't seemed to be doing combo-y things, so I'm not really that afraid of what's happening. I'm afraid of what is potentially going to happen, you know? Cavalier Flame. Okay, so that's kind of what they're doing. Maybe they're playing Fires of Invention as well. Oh my. Thank you. Love you. All right, Cavalier Thorns, discarding a Cavalier and a couple Leyline Bindings. Interesting. I guess the Leyline Bindings are just kind of expensive for them at the moment. All right, so we can get a Meteor Golem. We can maybe combo kill this turn, so I'm just gonna do my best. We can start with Oath of Nissa. It's essentially free. Karuga fires the new hotness. Since when? How does everyone know this before me? I literally play every day. Not like every day, but like, I took one day off. I was AFK for the weekend for a tournament. Come back and there's this new Karuga deck running around. Oh wait, it's not free. I'm an idiot. I always think it's free and it's not. Dude, I guess we'll take a second Cura because that does allow us to potentially do the infinite thing. Oh, we didn't use Karn yet either. And that sucks. Do I just take 2 more Oath? Just the churn? I need the land. We gotta take a land. We could take the Sky Noodle. Sky Sovereign, sorry. I guess we just take Chainveil. I'm gonna try to combo. I don't know if I can do it. I think I'm short. We can get them next turn maybe though. Do we Cavalier or do we Storm? Guess I'll Storm. I feel like I'm not playing very optimally here. Distracted by the smell of food. I feel like I'm gonna lose now, chat. I think I messed up bad. I didn't have enough devotion to do the infinite stuff with the Pestilent Cauldron, which is why I went for the first storm, but I should have maybe minus Karn first, because I had another Karn off the first storm and it didn't do anything. Also didn't activate the Nykthos first, so I missed out on a potential for like plus six mana. Just but the problem is like it changes based on what you hit. Like if we hit like Old Growth Troll and another Cavalier or whatever, I would much rather wait to activate the Nykthos. So like there's definitely just like situations where you're supposed to wait and situations where you're not. But I could have played it much more safe, and I chose not to. And I think that that's going to end up costing me here pretty big. Stuck in Overwatch 2? Nice. How's that been? Simic says good stream this weekend. Thanks, man. Oh, you missed the very Simic, you missed the very obvious. Ooh, I wanna take you. Oh, so they're saying odd, so everything's gone? Bro, you left me with all the planeswalkers though. 3 cards in hand. Plus is easy. This is easy. Trigger on. We'll draw a card first. Alright, so let's go green. In case we hit a Nykthos. We don't. The fairy who slows the sunset. This should be infinite now, right? Alright, so untap up to 1 target artifact, creature, whatever, right? So, okay, on the first, this. Play this, it's free. We'll do this. Do this. Activate this. And now Kiora can untap. The fairy untaps this. This is infinite mana, infinite life. Because the Chain Veil gets activated. But it said GG, so I'm just going to wait for him to concede. Alright, easy 2-0. I think I got to mold this one. This hand is better, but not by a lot. We're going to keep and hope it just gets better. Can't mulligan every hand with lands and elf. Oh, Phoenix time. Alright, so elf's definitely dying. 100% to die, and then our deck doesn't do anything anymore. Very cool. What's up, fool? Oh, it's this deck. I think that this deck's a horrible matchup for mono green. Like, I could just die to creativity this turn. Or virtually die. Do I attack? I don't think so. Seen new Hellraiser yet? Also on the list. Also on the list, Walsh. I was gone all weekend, just so y'all know. Anything that came out this past weekend, I was in what you calls it? Caldwell, Ohio, doing the Apex Gaming Invitational stuff. Or sorry, wasn't the Invitational. Apex Gaming 2K Plus, and we did the Apex Gauntlet on Sunday. Callie and I actually randomly started watching the new Hellraiser stuff. We started re-watching Hellraiser. She had never seen it. I had seen it when I was way younger. All right. I'm gonna take the Nykthos, but good chance we die this turn. We can only soak 20 damage. Or 10 damage, so we still take 20 from the worm plus the big boy. And they have this as well, maybe. Yeah, here it comes. How convenient. God, I love 1-card combos, chat. I love, love, love. Love, 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 love. Love, love. 1-card combos. Worst draws of my life. Keep this. Yeah, I don't like 1-card combos either, ATX Roy. I thought I said... I think I was making a joke. I don't even really remember what I said. It's okay, though. I guess I'll just take a forest. Don't really want second cavalier at this point. Would love a planeswalker of some kind in the next couple turns. Something to do on turn 3 would be great. Is creativity and legacy now? Or are you speaking to just modern? I don't think it's taking over Pioneer. I think that it's a deck and it's pretty decent, but like it's not like crazy or anything. It plays Cavalier. This matchup is kind of bad. Like our deck's not great against combo, you know? Like we're very one-dimensional. We don't have any sideboard cards. I do think this new creativity build's kind of cool. The blue-red version's sweet. I did not like the Rakdos version the last time I played it. The last time I played creativity was a Rakdos version. Now the version of Mono Green Devotion that plays like 3 Teferis, that one is occasionally pretty good. We're gonna play Storm instead of Troll. If it gets countered, it gets countered. Alright, well, I'm gonna attack for 5. We're threatening lethal next turn with the Lair of the Hydra. Here comes Big Scoring to deal me 30. They need to have a land, though. They missed a couple land drops, so they might not have it. But they probably have it. Hey, check it out! My opponent did nothing for 8 turns and then 1 card comboed me. Very fun and cool. My hands have been pretty bad. Alright, this hand's a bit better. We'll put back one of the 2 layers, I guess. Maybe a 4, so we just go layer. Doesn't really hurt to have a second one, I don't think. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, it was creativity. What's the creativity deck bad against control? It can certainly lose to Thoughtseize a bunch. Opponent's a fan. Yeah, Kaburb, there was none of that where I'm at. I didn't have a single Pioneer RCQ that I could go to that was. I mean, I could have drove like 2 hours, but we had multiple in town that I just couldn't play because it was modern, and I just don't own a modern deck, and all my friends were already playing. I just literally chose not to play them. But all they got to do is just unify the formats for the season. It's not that hard. We did it for a very long time. I'm gonna go get Sky Sovereign. I think it's just kind of a heater here. Preemptively. Like they just can no longer play a creature next turn, like a Bone Crusher or Graveyard Trespasser or whatever. It's like hard dish to crew, but we do have the Lair of the Hydras to crew it. Just gonna hold my land in case they Lily plus. Then we can still play the Sky Sovereign. Yeah, Karn making a creature is good. I just assumed Karn was getting Dreadboard. My opponents always have Dreadboard. Sky Sovereign is very good in Pi right now for sure. Yeah, give them like extra promos if they run Pioneer or something, you know? Like make give some reason for them to choose a different format other than the one that FNM is, and that also helps generate card revenue too, right? Or card sales. We already have a Nykthos, so we'll go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go ahead and crew an attack. It's unlikely they can kill Sky Sovereign, so this is probably just a free 5 damage. Main deck of Braid, huh? Interesting. In your town, there's 3 standard, 1 modern. That's cap. Although standard is fine. So like the US, we're basically fat on money or whatever, right? Fat on resources, and like so many people can just afford to play modern, which is kind of nuts. And in non-US places, I just don't think that that's the case. All right, so I think we can do the thing. Is it Sky Sovereign Troll or is it Sky Sovereign Teferi? I guess it's Teferi and we can minus. And Teferi is likely to die, right? Untapping Nykthos doesn't do anything. Oh, it does do something. We can't. There's nothing in the to cast though. But Sky Sovereign's good, and it's either Troll or Teferi. We can plus the Teferi, and then the shoulder can't kill it, I guess. Yeah, exactly. Like I think that you can create incentives to do that though. You can just lead your player base to water or whatever. Next turn we just animate Lair. Let's just animate Sky Sovereign attack. I know, Bobby. The main deck of Braid was pretty sad, but I've seen what's his face play it. Misplaced Shinger's been playing it along with some other stuff. Colgon's Command. It's a big attack. The Shielder has got Death Touch, so they can trade with any of this stuff. We'll kill the Shaman, though. Just make sure everything's at least 5 power coming in. Well, as long as they give us the option to turn off Outer House, I think everything will be fine. That's why I, you know, posted on Twitter about it. You think we'll see her as a Planeswalker and Pioneer? I don't know. Not sure. Game over. Yeah, but they didn't have it on Arena Sickness, so I was just, it was like a preemptive, like, hey, just want you to know this is a thing that we all want. You know? All right, so I'll bring in one more Sky Sovereign. I think the Fairy's fine. Caryatid's okay. All the big stuff's important against Thoughtseize. What do we cut? Maybe Wolfwillow Haven? I don't want the Voracious Hydras. It does fight, not bite, so it doesn't work against 4/5 Death Toucher. Character's pretty good there. Just a man accelerator didn't die to removal. Troll's great. Kiora, Karn, both great. Teferi's fine. Maybe Teferi because if it's like harder to resolve storms and stuff. It's like hard to infinite combo. We just got to win the fairway. Maybe that's worth. You can make an argument to cut a couple different things. What's up, Raph? All right. What's the odds my elf dies on for red mana? Low, right? Very low. High dies on 2 though. Stomp or whatever. We'll just go for rampy ramps. We'll save the oath for later, so we'll have more information and we can use our mana. Like next turn, we can play troll oath. Yeah, exactly, Bobby. It's mostly for that matchup, but it's good against aggro too. Thought sees you. Take Cavalier Rip. Wow. I'm gonna play defense, I think. They have the Den of the Bugbear. They have Castle though, so maybe I should just be slamming on them. Cletus is terrifying. It's a good draw. Cletus is pretty good against Growth Troll, Cavalier. In general, Cletus is not a card that is insane in this matchup, but if I'm drawing like really creature heavy, it can be tough. Something like Extinction Event here would be kind of brutal for us though. They wouldn't get zombies, which is nice though. All right, top 3. Cavalier, go ahead and get that down. Get the lair. The attack with this is very easy. Attacking with Old Growth Troll is not though, right? Because if they can kill Elf with something and then grow this to a 5/6 and then block. But I guess if I deal 3 damage to it, then the trade is fine. They could also just have nothing. Maybe they should have double blocked the Den of the Bugbear Kalitas there, maybe? I guess they lose both. Drawing a card with Castle Lockthwain, that means their hand is complete dog shit, I guess. Oh, or it's Extinction Event, I guess. Could be Extinction Event. And they just didn't want to hit only Elf Troll. They're being a little greedy. But it's going to pay them off, probably. GG's has been called in chat. They activate Castle Lockthwain for the Seppuku. Going out on their own terms. You love to see it. All right. A dangerous one-ish. We have 2 oaths, so even if we get our elf killed on 1, we can still do stuff. The trick, the super nuts is if I draw a land on 2, so I can go Kiora plus oath. Turn 2 Kiora is cheat code. Karn or Nykthos? We'll take Nykthos. We got plenty of stuff. Now remember, oath is not free. We already have one in play. Stompies? Pile driver. So we're playing against Gubbos. This matchup can be scary. Let's play Karn. I'm gonna go get boat. Now they can play Haste Goblin and attack down the Karn, but then we play Boat and kill whatever. All right. I don't think the Pile Driver gets the extra trigger, so they can kill one or the other. Everything's going to Karn. We'll just let Karn die. That's fine. It does get it. Oh, you stack them correctly. Right. Makes sense. Let's kill Squee for now. Take another Karn. Now we can plus next turn on the boat. I kind of want to offer the trade for Pile Driver. I think I'm just not gonna. Might chump Pile Driver to keep Cure alive. All right, man. Sounds good. 2 Rebel Belts. All right, Cure down. No. Oh, for Cure. I have a backup Cure. I'm just gonna let Cure die. Guess we get Chariot. I'm going to crew the Sky Sovereign with these 2. And I'm gonna kill one of these guys. We're gonna crew with the 2 cats instead of the troll because of they play that one guy that makes tokens not be able to block. All right, easy game. 3 Voracious Hydra in, Fairy out, Karn out, Console in, Oath out, and Storm out. That's my go-to plan, is just trim a little bit here and there of the weaker cards. You can't cut at one. You can't cut all of one thing. All the elements of the deck are too important. So what you have to do is you have to trim so that you can fit in the Voracious Hydras and make sure everything's not horrible. It's rare that I like doing that when I sideboard, but here I think it's correct. I don't know that it's correct, but I think it's correct. I'm gonna bench Karn. Karn's a little weak against aggro in general. That's why I trim 1. Already have plenty of things to do. Bam versus Minnesota 2032. I don't know that I'm gonna be alive then, man. You know? Bets that far in the future, anything that far in the future is just terrifying to me in general. So much can happen between then and now. Definitely willing to trade Old Goat Troll for something here. Should they attack with everybody? It has first strike though, so it's like kind of tough. Okay, elf down. On the Nykthos. Legion Lola's giving everything first strike is very dangerous here, potentially. If they just go buff attack for a bunch, I don't know how well I can block. Just the Cavalier can block, really. This is a lot of damage, chat. They might wait a turn, though, and just pop the elf and then deal 1 to me with the Hobgoblin Bandit. All right, well, I might be dead here. I'm going to figure out... See, this is 14, Trample. I think this is just lethal. 14, 17, 25, 34, minus 11. Yeah, I'm dead. Maybe playing 4 pile driver is correct with the 4 Legion Loyalists, yeah? Maybe. Alright, this was a Nito. Oof. Not the best draw in the world. I don't want to just say Cavalier. We could have played a Voracious Hydra there and just like made a 1-2 that fought something, I guess, but we'll just take it. We'll fight down the War Chief here. All right, definitely willing to trade with Battlecry Goblin if they want to send it. I'll take the Foundry Street and I'll eat the Prospector. I think this is a pretty easy trade on the BCG. Though, I'll just do this and then eat it and then have more Nykthos mana later. Maybe that's better. We're so low on life now, though, man. Next turn we can double Cavalier, I think. The problem is that, like, beating Pile Driver plus the Legion Loyalist is, like, pretty tough sometimes. Oh, shit. Legion Loyalist is scary. No attacks, though. Get a Storm. Get a Karn and a Nykthos. What are they conceding? All right. 3-1. All right. In case they're Rakdos-ish stuff that's interactive. Red in general makes elves much worse. Like, mulliganing to elves is bad. All right, all right. Which is Evan? Kind of happy with my keep now, honestly. I get the fairy. Might have to infinite combo them. Elf is just a liability at this point. In fact, I don't even think I want to draw them at all. I drew one for exactly this turn. That would be maybe okay. Next turn we'll play Kiora. Turn after we'll play Cavalier or Teferi, depending on what happens. I wonder if they're just going to sack their oven draw to. They chose not to. Mayhem Devil could be problematic. I'm going to go and play Kiora. If they want to throw 7 damage at Kiora, I think I'm okay with it. But I got to just try to get stuff down. Cauldron Familiar. Not the best top deck in the world for me. Sky Sovereign would be a boon. Looking for any land that's not a Nykthos? Maybe that was a reason not to play Nykthos earlier. Alright, did not hit Storm, but still doing fine-ish. Main phase of disputes. Okay. They do need to make a food somehow. They won't have expertise main deck. They'll have it after sideboard probably. I guess actually that's not true. They might have main deck expertise. So they don't have a way to get back the familiar just yet, but they did find another thing. Hmm. I wonder if I'm supposed to take down. I think I am. I think I need to look for big thing. That's pretty good. Draws a card. Pushes Nykthos further. Karn would be great too. I think because I have the old growth troll, I kind of want to attack with the Cavalier, but I think the problem's going to end up being if they do have claim the firstborn, they can still troll and sack it. And I think they might. I might also have push for this, so I'm just going to hold this back and protect. And if they ever kill my Cavalier, I can get back Karn, and then their deck gets shut down. They have Jagna expertise. Yes, very smart. True. Very true. Big brain. What is this? I am scared. Okay. Animate. Hive. So they're gonna sack it. Hit Teferi. Bring back Familiar. Kill Teferi. Say go. They call me Mr. Big Brain. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go activate Nykthos. Untap. Activate Nykthos. And then we're gonna sack the land and draw a card off Cure and try to find something. Probably. Oh, that's good. See, we have a land, so we're gonna gamble a little bit on this. Need a non-Nykthos land off of it. Okay. All right, and we hit a big thing in the graveyard too. We're cruising now. Should be easy from here. All right, so hit a troll and oath. Play another Cav. can still play Storm from the graveyard. We can still play another Cure and untap and then do it again. This should be more than enough. Oh, Sky Sovereign's golden too, man. Nykthos. 22 cards left in my deck. Is good, chat, or game blouses. Turn 6 after having my stuffed machine gun every second of every day. Sky Sovereign coming in. I don't think I want the Voracious Hydra. It's actually kind of a liability against Claim the Firstborn, and has this like knack of getting hit with Fatal Push in response to a target. So we're just going to trim the Teferi. Okay, easy, mole. Oh no, not again, man. Mole again. I basically just always put back 5-drops when I'm mulliganing. It's like all your mana stuff's just so important, and you'll just draw payoffs usually. And like if you flood out and die, that's fine. But this is a matchup where you're not gonna get you're gonna end up with time. Green? They have green in their deck? Damping Sphere. Okay. You literally played against that guy that yelled no changes at SAG Indian round 2? Hell yeah. What do you think of the trend of Mono Green or 3 Love Truck Beasts? It's better against aggro, but I think lackluster in general. Ooh, whoopsie. Should have played the Oath first. Drawing the Hydra is pretty bummer. Are you saying it's the same guy? Because if so, that's just good branding. I played that person. It was like first tournament out of like coming back from California, right? Like first tournament coming back from California. My opponent round 1 is playing Mono Green, a deck that I've worked on a bunch. Playing my list more than likely. And then like, say it with me. And he just looks at me and smiles and goes, no changes. Kind of want to untap the lair. Is that bad? Guess I should have kept a 5-drop. Same dude. Tight. Eaten Alive has been called. All right, Elf down. Elf down. Maybe I should side out elves in this matchup, but is that something I could ever actively do? We can still play 5-drop if we draw it, but we lost 3 permanents there. That was brutal. Jeg goes to hand. All right, we're going to send a 3-3. Ooh. Gonna go get Sky Sovereign. It should clean their shit up over time, maybe. But It's a bummer that it's just dead, right? They get to play 5/5. I am so much happier that they played that instead of the Gigantha. Holy shit! If they just play Gigantha, I think I'm in an not an unwinnable position. I'm in a very bad position if they just Gigantha me, dude. Here we're at what 12, facing down not a lot. Can't play anything because of the damping sphere. Go Mayhem Double. Next turn we can animate this off of Lair of the Hydra. Attack and kill this. So I'm off top one time. I don't even know if that'd be good enough, to be honest. I think after this, I'm gonna play some Goblins, chat. I want to play some Gobos. Maybe we'll build it from scratch. Rebuild it from scratch, rather. Maybe Skirk Prospector in it, but take 5. Salty and a sweet. Whatever. Dead on board. Dead on board enough. Do I want Needle? Do I want Voracious? Sin sets in. Only after dark. I'm not gonna cut Elf. It's too important. Whatever. Keep this one. Opponent's on 6. On 5. We have a turn 3 Karn as well, so if they don't Thought Seize it, we'll be in business, locking down a lot of their artifact synergies. That makes their Mayhem Devil much, much worse. And our character doesn't die to removal, so that's good. Do it for the believers. Try to do it for the believers. We're going to take Cavalier because we already have something to do on turn 3, and that's play Karn. And our Caryatid would much rather ramp us into Cavalier, I think. The cats will definitely block with Caryatid as well, you know. I will Karn for a land if I don't draw one next turn, and assuming that I don't get needled or double Thought Seized or whatever. Yo, one land, Witch's Oven, huh? Now, if they go sack, bring it back, that's fine. If they don't bring it back, we'll just plus. Fewer food, fewer things in play. Next turn we can minus. Unlike, like, they need, like, land Dreadbore or land Creature Eaten Alive to kill the Karn. And we just still have another Karn, so I'm not really that worried about it. Only after dark. Alright, the Damning Sphere would normally be pretty good, but it's not that good here specifically with how my hand is set up. So we'll get Dark Soul Citadel, play the Cavalier, and just play a normal ass game of Magic. We cannot play Oath because they have the Damning Sphere. It costs 1 more. I'm pretty good, Digital. How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? Okay, I want to do this because it's sweet. I think I'm going to hit. Damn it. All right, that's fine. I was hoping I could hit a Sky Sovereign and blow it up. That would have been funny. Scar stopped them from bringing the cat back. I thought his ability was on the cat. No, they can still bring the cat back, but oh yeah, I guess they could have. That was silly of me. Maybe they just F6 and they want it because they wanted to Delhi dispute with it. That was just a mistake then. I don't know. Easy concede. Easy dub. All right, let's talk about the deck. So first and foremost, I want to point out that this build is basically stock at this point. I'm going to pull out the cards that are basically 100% in every list, right? So this core right here is basically 100% in every list you're going to see of this deck. This is kind of like the de facto best build. Actually, sorry, the Sylvan character occasionally doesn't see play, and one of these forests is sometimes a second Beseiju, but this core of cards is basically locked in. And that's because this core of cards all kind of need each other to function. And it might not seem like, oh, every single one of those cards is actually 100% necessary. But the more you play the deck, the more you realize that each of them capitalizes on the other existing and the other being in play or in hand. What ends up happening is you kind of create these like steamroll turns where you finally get enough devotion for Old Growth Troll, and then that lets you activate Nykthos for a little bit of mana, and then the Old Growth Troll becomes free. But then when you play a Kiora, the Old Growth Troll becomes like a Seething Song. And then when you play a Cavalier and you find another Nykthos, it becomes like, you know, Past in Flames. And so you start to see like this deck actually becomes Storm, and all the cards just work really well together on that front. The fact that Llanowar Elves and Wolfwillow Haven kind of double as just being normal mana ramp cards early, but then late game, you know, they're just part of the mana engine, right? Like early on, they just let you accelerate into Kiora, Old Growth Troll. They let you put Karn on the table a turn faster to look for combo pieces or interaction like Sky Sovereign or Godfrey Statue. It's pretty unbelievable that this deck is untouched by bans in such a long time. I feel like it is extremely powerful. It is extremely resilient, and there's only like, you know, a few sideboard slots and like three or four main deck slots that are even cuttable or changeable. Like you can make an argument to cut the Sylvan Caryatid, the Teferi, the Sky Sovereign. These can all be various planeswalkers. They can be uh you know, more copies of Sylvan Caryatid. They could be like some sort of creature if you want, like a, I don't know, what's the 5-drop, the new one, the Ancient Silverback Gorilla or something. You can play some 4-drop creature if you want. You can play Nisu Shakes the World. But right now, I think Sky Sovereign's excellent. I think Sky Sovereign being one of those cards that can bust up your opponent's 3/3s and then also pressure their planeswalkers is sweet. There's a reason why we have one main and then two more in the sideboard. It's because we always want one for Karn, but we're fine to go up to two in the main deck because it's so good right now. And you saw it just completely dominate almost every game that it came down. And I think that that's just going to be status quo for quite some time until any major changes happen. The sideboard, I think, can be changed significantly if you want. I love Voracious Hydra. I mean, you watch the one match where I had Voracious Hydra. It came down and killed multiple goblins, and it very easily won me the game. The Voracious Hydras obviously don't work with Storm the Festival, or else they'd probably be main deck. I mean, they're just so good against every aggro deck, and aggro decks are generally some of your worst matchups. The rest of the sideboard, you know, we didn't get to see a lot of it in action. The Sky Sovereigns kind of stole the show, but I think it's fine to have, you know, a nice wide array of sideboard options for the Karn. And I'm not 100% on what the best build is, but I'm fine with this build. I liked having what I had, and I didn't really miss what I cut. So there you go. Anyway, that's Mono Green Devotion. Thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you next time. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button.